Good afternoon and welcome to another webinar. We're going to be discussing Microsoft tips for Mac users today, and I'm joined by Josh, who's our marketing assistant here at SMS. My name's Martin, I'm the technical support manager here. Josh will be presenting today's webinar on the tips for Mac users. So just before we start, we're just going to discuss a bit about the company. So we are a Microsoft Gold partner. We specialise in providing managed services for the mid-market area and SME. SMS has been established for well over 15 years now, with a portfolio of over 4,500 clients, and that is continuing to grow. We are proud holders of ISO 9001 and 2701 certifications. All our support is provided 24/7 for all the services that we provide, and that is covered 365 days of the year. All our staff are UK based. We are ideally placed to offer the best IT advice in the industry to make your business successful and the requirements that you need for that. And we are also here to help get the most out of Azure, Microsoft 365 and Modern Workplace. So I'm going to ask Josh the question now. So basically Mac Mail versus Outlook for Mac. Josh, do you want to just explain to everyone what the differences are between them both for us?
Yeah, so as a Mac user myself, on a Mac and Apple iPhone user, what I find a lot of time is with Mac Mail is it's there and it's already there, it's integrated onto the phone, and it seems like the simplified and easier thing to do. But actually, when you look and you break it down between Mac Mail and Outlook on Mac, you can see some real defining and comparisons that really separate Outlook and Mac Mail completely. So one of the first things I look at is organization. Outlook is more organized, secure and stable, whereas for me, Apple Mail is more linear and less defined. With Outlook, you have the ability on the right-hand side to see your layout view for your calendar, upcoming meetings. And on the left-hand side, you have the ability to pin for your important mail at the top. So for example, if you're getting a lot of mailing listing things come through and you want to pick out what your boss has sent you, which is maybe an important project, you can pin that right at the top and make sure that you're not avoiding or ignoring that one. The flexibility, if you want to use Apple Mail, you need a Mac or iOS device, meaning you lose that freedom and flexibility. With the pandemic, means a lot of people are hybrid working or working from home. If you use Apple Mail on your Mac device, and for some sad instances, maybe your device fails or has some technical problems, you're then stuck looking for an Apple or Mac product to be able to use your Apple Mail with. With Outlook, you have the freedom of using it on Apple, iOS, Android products, or PC, or even just logging into Safari and logging onto your Outlook account that way. So it gives you that flexibility and freedom. The collaboration, Outlook supports third-party apps, unlike Apple Mail, meaning one that I use personally is Grammarly. Before writing an important email, I'll use my Grammarly that's already installed, and it will go through and highlight areas that I've made mistakes or correct sentences that make more sense.
That's perfect. And so Outlook on the Mac, what sort of benefits are there then for that?
Yeah, so the integration feature is already built in on the comment on the right-hand side. This obviously will allow you and your colleagues to share information, or just friends, with what calendar and what things are going on, whether it's an online meeting or just a general event. That has the integration with Microsoft Teams, which means you can join your meeting straight there, live on that right-hand side corner. Yeah, and security is also a great aspect with Outlook compared to Apple. With Outlook, you have multi-authentication, which adds a layer of protection, where usually with other mail services you'll log in with just a one-time single password. This time you have to use your one-time single password and maybe have to back it up with a second authentication, such as maybe a text message with a code provided to you or an email with a code provided to you. Advanced threat protection helps by stopping malicious links, attachments get into your box. It opens the attachment into a virtual closed environment away from your own environment to check all the mail for any malicious web before coming to you to stop any viruses coming infecting your computer.
Perfect. And what about notifications then? What sort of notifications are we going to get with Outlook?
Yeah, notifications is something that I really heavily use a lot, and it keeps me on track and up to date all the time. If you turn on the notification bell in the top right hand corner, you'll have the ability to sync that in with your device to make sure that you're always on time and ready for your meeting. For example, if you get an email in the top right hand corner, you get the ability to proofread it without having to go on to your Outlook, open it up and check if the meeting was important or needing to be answered or urgent. One thing that I find really useful is it will let you know 15 minutes before a meeting comes up that your meeting's there. You either can snooze it for 5 to 10 minutes or you can join straight away and get in early straight for that meeting.
That's perfect. That's really, really handy to know that. I might even start using that myself. So we're just going to be discussing now, so it can be Microsoft Word for Mac. So Josh, did you want to just go through some of the benefits of that for the users?
Yeah, so in certain screenshots, you can quickly insert screenshots by going to the Insert menu ribbon and then click Screenshots option. This will show you all the screenshots open from all your open apps on your Mac that you're using. Alternatively, you can select screen clippings and take your custom screenshots and add them into your document presentation or any other project you're creating. Yeah, so drawing on documents is one that also is great for people, the more creative minds. If you need to do a quick sketch or a quick note, you can go to the draw menu in the ribbon and start drawing with different pens. Alternatively, which is the biggest eye-catching thing for Mac users, is the ability to draw with a trackpad. You can use the trackpad provided as a drawing pad to use to maybe draw manually your own signature onto the end of a document. Yeah, so my personal favorite is the Resume Assistance, which is powered by LinkedIn. You can now access this feature by going to Review, then Resume Assistance menu, and log in with your LinkedIn details to get the CV suggestions based on your profile. For me personally, I think it's fantastic because Word offers an amazing array of templates for CVs. Maybe you want something more professional or something more creative and a bit more whimsical. You have the ability to connect your LinkedIn account that will pull all the relevant information, hobbies, past jobs, education, history, input it onto that, and you just have to dot the I's and cross the T's. So the read aloud feature, this feature is particularly helpful when you're proofreading your own work. Sometimes when you read in your head, maybe a document you just wrote, what you find the problem is sometimes is you hear it back and you maybe autocorrect it in your own head and sometimes miss when something doesn't make sense or something maybe is not grammared properly. Maybe there's not a breath being taken in the sentence. All you need to do is quickly go to Review menu from the ribbon in the and click Read Aloud icon. A small audio controller will appear. Then you can press play and also adjust the reading speed and the voice to hear back your document, see if you've made any mistakes or anything needs changing or altering. The built-in translator. So this is the last tip for Word for Mac before we move on to the tips and tricks. You can use the built-in translator when you want to translate a document or find the meaning of a word in a different language. Maybe you've received a document in a different language or you'd like to translate it into a new language. You could just simply go to the Tools menu in the top bar and select Translate option. Once open, you can choose the language that you require for the document and insert that into the document in either the new language or the language you prefer in.
That's great, especially if you've got a multilingual company where you get stuff that are sent in one language. You can easily convert what they're actually saying. That's quite a useful feature to have.
Yeah, of course. Or maybe you have a different audience or customer or consumership that's from a different country and you'd like to send out your new mailing listing with the new information in their language.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah. So we're just going to discuss some tips and tricks now that are actually available for the Mac. So Josh, do you just want to explain what we're seeing on screen now?
Yeah, so just a handful of tips and tricks. This is something that I also find myself falling into a lot of the time is you want to separate your work from your personal. So when you're saving your files and you're saving your projects, quit without saving for any Microsoft app on a Mac when the dialog box is always slightly different. So if you're logged into your OneDrive account, the default place is OneDrive, which you can set from your personal, from your company and what you need your work life to be. OneDrive will obviously free up your local hard drive space for the files that you don't want to store on the cloud. If you simply wanted to save it onto your Mac, then you can click the On My Mac button on the left-hand side of the icon.
That's perfect. And what about Apple CarPlay? I've heard that apparently you can use CarPlay with certain applications, I believe.
Yeah, so the rise of hybrid working will obviously mean that more people are commuting. Maybe people are working between their work, their actual office or their home office, like myself. With the ability to do CarPlay, you can link your CarPlay account to your Microsoft Teams account, so you can now join calls using your vehicle's built-in controls or hand-free Siri. Meaning, if you're on the go, you can still keep in the loop and up to date.
Keyboard shortcuts then, are they the same or are they slightly different?
Yeah, I think it's a common one that people sometimes don't know whether, if they're used to Windows and they've had Windows their whole life and maybe they've moved to a Mac device, whether or not shortcuts are maybe different because the keyboard looks completely different to maybe a usual computer that isn't a Mac. So many of the keyboard shortcuts you may be used to on a Windows computer still work on Mac. But instead you use the control button, you would use Command on your keyboard. For example, to select all, you just hold down Command and A. On a Mac, when switching devices, you can use the many shortcuts using the Command key. The Command key is the key feature in all of this.
Okay, I'm just going to see if there's any questions, because we sometimes do get some of these on this. I'll go to it there, just assist us have a quick look. Okay, there has been a couple that have come in. Okay, so we've got Kevin from Manchester asks, people say Office 365 doesn't have all the same features as on Windows. Is this true? I'll answer that one. So basically, that is true. So basically, on the Mac, there is some applications that are not available that are on the PC. So, for example, Access is one of them that's not available on the Mac that it is on the PC. I believe Publisher's the other one. And there's also things like Power BI desktop application. If you were using Power BI, that's not available on the Mac. Generally, the UI on them when you open them, such as like Word on the PC and Mac, they look similar. Outlook is massive, well, completely different in some regards. The way that the actual screen's laid out and the way that it actually works. But generally, the same sort of options. Say if you're opening a spreadsheet, for example, you're doing text to columns, that's all still the same. There's just a slightly difference in the way that it looks slightly, but typically the features are the same. It's just that there is on the PC, there's obviously more apps that are available compared to the Mac. So there's another one. We've got Julie from Warrington asks, do documents made in Office 365 for Windows work exactly the same in the Mac and vice versa? So people will have any trouble opening documents. Josh, do you want to answer that one? Are you okay with that one? Do you want to?
Yeah, so it should work the same, Martin. Am I correct?
Yeah. So effectively, the documents are, as long as the typical Word documents or Excel, that regardless of the OS, it'll just work. Yeah, and failing that, if you were on an unsupported operating system, you could always use the web version as you get the full Office suite if you've got the right plan to open documents on there, such as Word, PowerPoint, Excel, etc. So that is an option that's available. Let's just have a quick look and see. So we've got a couple more by the looks of it. Let's have a quick look. We've got a David from London asks, would you recommend Office 365 over the built-in Apple Word processor like Pages and Numbers? Do you want to answer that one, Josh, at all?
I can take that one. Yeah. So for me, I usually was before using only Apple-based Keynote and Word, Keynote and the notes and bits like that. Since now transferring over to Microsoft product, I think it's completely new. I think it feels more organized, more professional, and everything looks better. It was quite before quite hard having to use when making a document, having to then make someone else convert it or make it into PDF, and then it was a lot of fiddling when a lot of people traditionally use Word. So it also keeps everyone connected.
That's perfect. Thanks, Josh. We've got one more. I think we've got a couple more by the looks of it. So James from Manchester asks, how many devices can I use Office 365 on? So could I have both Windows, desktop and Apple at the same time? I can answer that one. So basically, depending on what plan that you have, you can actually install the software, the Office software on up to 5 devices. So if you are a Mac and PC user, you can have the Mac version installed on your Mac and the Windows version installed on your Windows machine. It's also available on iPad, Android tablets, phone, iOS devices. So yeah, that's not an issue. As long as you don't exceed the 5 limit, then that's fine. It'll just work as normal. So it is quite versatile. So you could have, if you are going to be hybrid working and you have a home office and an office, an actual office, you can have the basic Office installed at your home and at work, and it won't have any issues as long as you've got the correct Office 365 plan. We've just got one more by the looks of it. Peter from Liverpool has asked, do SMS support Macs the same way as they do Windows? I will answer that one because it's sort of my area of expertise. I am a 100% Mac user. I have been for several years now. We do support Macs the same way as we do with Windows. All our staff in support are experienced with using Macs to a degree. I myself, I am an advanced Mac user, so if there is any issues that you encounter with 365 on your Mac and it has an adverse effect on something else, we're here to advise and help the best we can to resolve them issues for you. So you would be supported in the same way as you would do if you had a Windows machine. Just let me just see if we've got anything else coming in. I think that is it for now. I don't think there's anything else coming in. So on that note, I'm just going to wrap things up. I would like to thank Josh for presenting the webinar today. It's been appreciated to getting his time to do that for us all. If you need to contact us, say you want to take 365 out, and you're a Mac user or even a Windows user, please call 01925 818 448 and one of our sales team will be glad to assist you with that. If you have any questions, technical questions that is, or if you're an existing customer that has a Mac and wasn't aware that you could install the Office software on it, then please call our helpful support team on 01925 818 252 and they'll be glad to assist you there. Our website is simplymailsolutions.com, and you can get to our support site directly from there as well, which features the ability to search our knowledge base, which contains extensive information on how to do certain things like set up Outlook, for example, or how to use Teams. You can also open tickets there with both the support team and the accounts team. Please make sure that you follow us on social media, so that's Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn. This covers all future updates that we're doing on webinars, what the next one's going to be, some testimonials that we get from customers, advertisement, that sort of thing on products. And our webinars and YouTube channel can be found at simplymailsolutions.com/webinars, where you can look at past webinars that we've done and also register for future ones that we're going to be doing. If you do, if there's a webinar that we've not done and you feel that and you want to see a certain topic covered in the future, then please reach out to us and we'll get that added to the list so we can get that sorted for you. So I'd like to thank Josh again for presenting today. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending. My name's been Martin. It's been a pleasure. Thanks very much, and hope to see you all again soon.